Hi, it's Rob from the Brush and Boltgun. Today I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial on how to paint the White Hand of Saruman. Okay, so colours wise, this is going to be a video where we're just going to be using white and a little bit of black Templar contrast to touch up if necessary. So what we're doing here is we're going to be painting on the White Hand of Saruman on a few different miniatures. When you're looking at the hand, you always seem to have the thumb on the left hand side, so you want to be painting the hand with a kind of reversed G kind of shape when you're looking at it. And that sort of represents the bit at the end of the fingers, like the sort of like the fleshy bit on the palm, where you've got the lumps at the end of each finger. Then it goes down the outside of the palm. Then you've got the thumb part. So it's worth, if you want to do it in separate parts, you can do the almost horizontal bit below the fingers first, then do a vertical bit on one side, which is going to be the kind of pad which is on the outside of the palm, and then you're going to have the kind of third part, which is the fatty bit of the thumb, on the other side. So here, because the thumb's going on the left, we've got that kind of reverse G shape, like so. Where you've got the eye holes, that also prevents you from painting certain parts of it. So you want to think about when you're painting the hand on, you don't want to just put the fingers so that you can see the fingers clearly. If it goes over an eye hole or some sort of slit in the armour, you want to be making sure that those areas have the paint missing because the hand hasn't touched it. You don't want to just sort of like put it around the outside or anything like that. So that's the basic shape there. You can see that it's quite messy. So all we're going to do with that is use a little bit of Citadel Black Templar contrast, which is the colour that I use on the Uruk-hai armour. If you were doing it on something that's black material colour like a banner, then you would use a bit of the colour that you've used on the banner pole there. All we're doing with the contrast is we're touching up this area and giving it a bit more of a shape of hand. Now when you look at the ones on the film and stuff like that and they slap the hand on, because they do it in such a kind of haphazard way, the fingers look quite wide. If you want to thin them down, then you can use a tiny little bit of the shade to thin that down. As you can see on this one now, you do have quite chunky fingers, but I'll show you how to do the thinner ones on the next guy. So just doing some runs of the paint there because they're not too keen on just getting the right amount needed for the job. They do kind of slap that on there. So doing a few little runs of paint. I'm going to call that done. Okay, so for the shield, now you can't just do loads of little hands. I thought I'd do one big hand so you can see roughly the shape that I go for when I'm painting it on the helmets and on the different parts of the armour. I want to do a berserker at some point with loads of the hands, like the guy who blows himself to pieces at Helm's Deep. So you can see there I've done the bit for the thumb onto the left there. Then you've got that kind of vertical fat pad on the outside of the hand, the horizontal bit there. Painting on a bit more for the thumb. Because it's painted on, you don't have to have it 100% accurate. It's just generally getting as though they've maybe taken a brush to it or something like that. But this is the kind of rough idea of what I was doing on the berserker's helm there. You've got the four fingers at the top, you've got the horizontal, which is the pads underneath that, and then you've got the kind of two fat pads beneath that. And this is the rough idea of the shape that you'd be doing generally. So with that in mind, we're going to go on to the final part, which is going to be a lot thinner and a lot neater. This one is going to be on the Uruk-hai Warrior, which is the one from the video that I did. May not be up yet, but it's the Uruk-hai Warrior video. Whenever that comes about, I'm going to do this nice and neat. So thinking about what we've just done on the previous two to get that kind of rough shape there, we're going to do the line here where the thumb would be. So the thumb is going to be at an angle, maybe about 45 degrees from the vertical ridge running up his helm there. That's going to come down to that big pad on the thumb. Next we're going to do that vertical bit, and that's going to be going up because you've got that ridge on the helmet and they put the hand on. If you put your hand on a ridge or something like that, there's going to be that gap where the fingers don't touch behind that ridge. And that's what I'm doing here, you see. So you've got that vertical as well coming across that kind of reversed G kind of shape. And now we're just going to use a tiny little bit of paint and do 3 really thin fingers. You don't have to do them 100%, you can do them in different parts if you want, like sort of each finger, maybe 1 or 2 pieces. Or if you've put loads of paint on the hand when they're slapping it on there, you can just do that in 1 solid blob per finger. Like so. So as you can see, that is the finished hand that we've done on one. You have the finished hand on the berserker there, and the one on the shield. So 3 different ones, all slightly different. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. Also, think about subscribing to some of our other social media, linked below. Thanks very much. If you like the channel and you enjoy the content and you'd like to support us, our Ko-fi and Patreon pages are linked below. Thanks very much.